Okay, we're gonna go over some things about what happened yesterday. Now keep in mind, the facts are still coming out, so I may very well say something that may be proven wrong, and if it is, I'm trying to correct it if I can. But yesterday we had a horrible shooting. It was obviously an act of Islamic extremism. A Muslim person whose parents immigrated here from Afghanistan, whose father believes that he is the president of Afghanistan, hated Jews, hated, you know the deal, and hated gays. So he went to the Pulse nightclub, which caters to the gay community in Orlando, Florida, and he unleashed hell. He shot up. They said last count was 50 dead, 52 wounded. Keep in mind, one of the wounded guys might die. Keep in mind, they might have a guy come out of the shadows with a freaking gunshot wound tomorrow. So those numbers may change here and there. I've gone over mass shootings before. Now, people obviously blame the gun. I did a video explaining what rifles the Sandy Hook shooter could have used if the AR-15 did not exist or was banned entirely. I'll put that link below. I did other videos on movie theater shootings and other things like that. I'll put that link below if I can. Excuse me. Allergy season. And I've said about the movie theaters. In the movie theater, everyone is watching the screen and they're hearing explosions, gunshots, fire, and you hear a couple of gunshots in the back and you might not realize it because the speakers in the movie theater are everywhere. So you're all around you, even though the picture in the movie theater is forward, all around you is the sound. Nightclub, same deal. Even though the DJ is over there, the speakers are everywhere and the sound and all the bullshit. And one of the witnesses said, I heard a popping sound. I thought it was the music or special effects or some shit. And I surmised the suspect would have went to the dance floor. Now, I think this is not proven yet. It's my theory. I think the suspect went to the nightclub beforehand. There were doors that were locked somewhere in the club. And they limited the options of the nightclub goers on their way out. They had to find alternative exits. You all know the door that has the fire alarm on, and if you open it, the fire department comes, but you can still open it. These doors were allegedly locked. Now, Richard Kuklinski, Richie the Pole, hitman for the Gambino family. Non-Italians are allowed to work with the Italian mafia, but not allowed to become full-fledged members. Richard Kuklinski had a vicious temper and killed guys with a drop of a dime. He also did contract killing. Now, Richard Kuklinski had to kill a guy in a gay bar for some reason. And he went into the gay bar, 6'6". He found these Jagunda platform shoes, this is the 70s, to make him up to about 7 feet tall. Close to it. He had this big, yellow, loud shirt, and he was dancing around, and he accidentally bumped into a guy and walked away. I'm sorry, sir. But he spilled cyanide on the guy, and the guy died. It's entirely possible the suspect went to the theater, went to the nightclub first, and saw the doors were locked, and decided to hit that because, as opposed to any other gay establishment. But that's a summary. That's a theory. Now, I say he's going to go to the dance floor first. Why? On the dance floor, we've all been to, even if you've never been to a gay bar, you've been to clubs, you've been to weddings, you've been to birthday extravaganzas where people are fucking dancing and they're singing and they're getting into the groove, okay? On the dance floor, everyone is closer together, kind of like a movie theater. Only they're up and spinning and they're drinking and all that bullshit. Especially the gays. The gays are very... Gay means happy. If you look at old songs, like gay happy... Christmas songs say gay happy feelings or you're so gay today. Well, gay means happy. And the gay community, they are very happy and flamboyant and they love to dance at the party. They're like that. I went to high school with a gay guy. He's a friggin' club promoter. I went to high school with two twins. They were a year older than me. They're identical twins. One is gay, one is straight. The gay guy is like a fucking picnic basket, okay? He's really out there with the flamboyancy and shit, okay? So they're having a good time close together. You fire a couple of shots. It's entirely possible guys are so close together that one bullet could hurt or kill more than one person. Especially depending on the bullet type, you know, spear point this or hollow point that or whatever the hell the bullet type itself is, and the powder charge behind it and the close proximity to it. You can get a couple of good shots off and kill or hurt more than one guy with one shot. Also, trampling. You've obviously seen the daytime talk shows where they have some guy come out who's 50 pounds heavier than I am, and he lays on a futon mat, and a friggin' 90-pound girl comes out, takes her shoes and socks off, and walks on his back. Okay? And she's making sure she stays off the neck, off the head, off the spine, all this other bullshit. Well, imagine this. Imagine if you fell or were pushed on a hard floor, on your stomach or your back or whatever the hell, and you had 50 or 60 people not walking on you, but running on you. They're wearing shoes and they're running on you. That alone could kill you. You can be trampled to death, my friends. And it's entirely possible that most injuries came not from gunshot wounds, but from trampling, from shoving, from other problems like that. Okay? That's also a problem, because once you realize there's a couple of gunshots going off, people snap and they just go fucking bonkers. Now, another community that has this problem is the deaf community. When I was in college, I had to take a class on, I had to take a language. In Italian, Spanish, and French, I had to take language 1 and 2. Sign language, only had to take language 1. So I went down to Manhattan at 5 o'clock on a Saturday. Empty. No one's there. And I went to an office building that had a class in Italian from my college extension site. And the professor was a deaf interpreter. She interpreted for the deaf people, what people were saying for them. And she's very immersed in deaf culture. The deaf people love to party. And they love music. Huh? Yes. Deaf people memorize the lyrics in the songs. And even though they can't hear a fucking bomb going off, when they go to the club and dance, the vibrations get them going. So the deaf community also has to watch out for this stuff. Especially because the deaf community won't ever hear the gunshot, and especially because the deaf community will have a harder time getting help. Yes, they have a special way to text 911, but if a deaf person runs out of a club that's being shot up, they'll have a harder time communicating that there's a problem. So the deaf community also has to be aware of this shit. But all of us in general. Now, the suspect knew exactly what he was doing. Obviously, this is a very evil thing, but from a strategic standpoint, the suspect made an ingenious attack. Just like September 11th was an ingenious attack. Just like Pearl Harbor was an ingenious attack. Politics aside and allegiance aside, this attack was brilliant. It was brilliant in its evilness, but it was brilliant nonetheless. Because he knew exactly where to go. Gay club, everyone's dancing, no one's paying attention, everyone's drunk, everyone's fucking dizzy and spinning, okay? He knew exactly what to do. If he shot up a gay library, if he shot up a gay lunch-in, if he shot up a gay financial meeting, there would have been guys straight up sober, there would have been guys sitting down paying very close attention. He shot up an environment where no one was paying attention. Okay? And that's the thing. Now, I'm not going to jump on the liberal bandwagon and say, well, if he didn't have a pistol grip on the rifle, this wouldn't have happened. Okay? He could have did this with a Mini 14. He could have did this with an M1 carbine. Even an M1 Garand. M1 Garand has an 8-round clip, on clip. But an M1 Garand is very powerful. And 8 rounds of M1 Garand fired at the wrong time, at the wrong place, could kill as many guys as 30 rounds from an AR. Because that 30-06 bullet will just keep on flying. So, we need to be vigilant here. Now, I will say this. This individual was interviewed by the FBI at least twice. He was a known member of ISIS. When he took hostages He called 911 himself and pledged allegiance to ISIS over the phone. The cops came in, they confronted him, they shot him. He shot a cop in the head, but the cop's Kevlar helmet did its job. This guy hated Jews, hated gays. He said he was in personal communication with an American citizen that renounced his citizenship and became a suicide bomber in Syria. Now, the problem with the FBI terror list is that it's fucked up. You can have a guy named John Smith. He's on the FBI terror list because a guy in his hometown named John Smith is a member of the Ku Klux Klan and threatened to set fire to a black church. You had a woman named Catherine Stevens. She calls herself Cat Stevens. She was on the terror watch list because people mistook her for Cat Stevens, the 70s folk singer who is now a Muslim terrorist and banned from the U.S. There are Vietnam veterans on the terror watch list. There are politicians on the terror watch list. There are journalists on the terror watch list. There are fucking members of Congress that are on the terror watch list. So this is what you gotta do. You have to have a panel of FBI agents take the terror watch list. And I don't care how long it takes, they have to look over every minute detail of the terror watch list. And they have to double check and triple check every name to make sure the names that don't belong on there are taken off. Then, once they've established what names do belong on there, guess what they gotta do? They gotta start banning guys from the terror watch list from owning guns. They gotta put that into the NICS system. That way, when you go to the NICS to get your FFL check, you fail the check. Okay? But like I said, before that happens, they gotta make sure there are no innocent people on the terror watch list, which requires every single name to be reviewed again and again. Okay? And it's gotta be checked routinely. It's gotta be updated routinely. But we have to have guys on the terror watch list banned from owning guns. Because this guy was not a mistake. This was not a guy that was accidentally on the list because he had the same name as a terrorist, okay? This was a guy that was really, really fucked up, okay? And he did this for ISIS. Because ISIS only requires you to commit an act of terror and pledge allegiance to them. There's no special training to become a member of ISIS. There's no special swearing in ceremony to become a member of ISIS. There's no uniform for ISIS, okay? I can go out right now and kill somebody and say, Allahu Akbar, I love ISIS, and I'm an ISIS fighter. Very scary world. So, now, we have to be vigilant. Now, fuck political correctness. If you see something, say something. I don't give a fuck if the liberal media gets upset with you. That's irrelevant to me. If you see a problem, open. The mouth is open and the words come out. Okay? Also, when you go out to clubs and bars, gay or straight is irrelevant. Because gay people bleed, but so do straight people. You have to be aware. Now, I'm not going to lie. In my younger days, there were a couple of times when I went out and I got a little too drunk. Okay? I did. But that was because I had a ride home or because it wasn't some other reason, okay? You're young, you're having a good time, okay? You want to drink, you want to get blitzed, you want to fucking puke in the back room, that's fine. Okay, as long as you're not driving yourself home. As long as you've made other arrangements that require you not to drive home. Okay, well, fine. But now, in this kind of a fucking world, I will start telling you now to stop the binge drinking, okay? I did a couple binge drinks when I was younger, and you should have seen how fucked up I was my high school prom night. Holy shit, man. I fucking I pissed in the middle of the fucking road. I did. We got out of the limo. We were going to each other's houses. A friend of mine was getting off at his house. He pissed on the sidewalk in front of his own house. And I walked in the middle of the road and took a fucking piss on a Friday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, in fucking suburban Yonkers. Okay, I did. Middle of the fucking road. Okay, you do things when you're fucked up. That's gonna go viral. But the issue is now you gotta be aware. Okay, you wanna have one drink, that's fine. But when you go out in public now, I'm begging you, don't drink to the point where you're gonna get fucking delirious. Because I guarantee you, if every sober person that was in that club, there were 10 drunk guys. Okay? And as long as they're not driving home, I normally say fine. But in this day and age, you gotta be careful. Because you don't know when you're gonna be called upon to go running. You don't know when you're gonna be called upon to bandage a wound. Okay? Remember I told about trampling? Okay? What if you're in a club and you have a friend who is an adult, but she's 4'10" and she weighs 85 pounds? Okay? You gotta pick her up and carry her. Because if she goes down, she's getting killed. Okay? What if your friend is hurt? You gotta carry him. Okay? You gotta be dragging guys. You gotta be carrying guys. You gotta be knocking doors over. You gotta be throwing chairs out of the way. You gotta be shoving tables out of the way. Okay? You gotta be barricading rooms closed. Okay? You gotta be getting down on all fours and letting people step on you to get out the window. Okay? You gotta be talking to 911, telling them, where are you? What's going on? I need police, I need fire, I need EMS, I need a SWAT team. I have a mass murder on my hands, okay? You have to be more vigilant now than ever before. Please, if you go out to the club, I'm begging you, please, okay? Have one drink and that's it, and be aware. Look around you, okay? Look around all the time. Look around. Look at the faces, okay? If you got a fucking gay bar where every one of them was wearing 1,000 different colors, jumping around, dancing, having fun, and you got one guy in the corner, all decked out in black, straight up sober, staring at you, sweating. Okay, did you notice that? Maybe you should have. Remember when I went to see Captain America Civil War? There was a man who was a lot larger than me who came in and started looking around suspiciously. It ended up being an innocent person. It ended up being no big deal. But I was still, I'll put the video down below. I was still aware of that person, and I was still thinking of a plan of how to attack him if he ended up being a mass shooter. Okay? You have got to have in your mind, when you go out, you got to say several things. Number one, I'm only going to drink a little bit. Number two, I'm going to look around every 5 minutes on the dot. Make sure no one's following me. Make sure no one's staring straight face, sweating their brains out while everyone else is having a good time. Okay? I'm going to always be aware of where the exit is. So if I'm over here, the exit is there. If I go over there to see my friend, the exit is there. If I go over there, the exit is that window. If I go over there, the exit is there. Wherever your feet are, when you're standing here, you need to see where the exit is. Not, well, I know the exit is over there, and now I'm all the way in the back. No, where's your exit now? Okay? If I walk up to you in a club, and I say to you, where's the exit? Tell me now. You have to be able to look at the exit in 2 seconds and say, there it is. That's the exit. How are you going to get to it? Is that table in the way? Is that bar in the way? Is that guy in the way? Are you going to open the door and hold it open for everyone else to come out? Are you going to have the balls? That's going to take a lot of balls to open the door, hold it open, maybe stand behind it a little for a shield, but to hold it while everyone else runs out. Are you going to be that guy? Okay, you're 6'5" and you weigh 270. Okay, are you going to be the guy that's going to get on your hands and knees by a window and sit there for 5 minutes while 100 people step on your back to get out? Are you going to be that guy? But here's the one guy I don't want you to be. There was a guy on TV with Megyn Kelly last night. And this guy said, when I went out the door, I closed it behind me. Why? And Megyn Kelly asked him straight-faced, were you trapping people inside? When you went out the door and closed the door to make sure the gunman didn't follow you, were you trapping 500 other people behind you? And he's like, what? Real? Oh shit! He just thought of that now. Oh my god. That's what you got to think about. If there's a gunman over there, and I run out that door, am I gonna close the door and trap a bunch of victims like rats, or am I gonna hold the door, stand behind it, and allow everyone else to run out? This is a different world, my friends. We're not living in the world that I lived in when I was 18. We're not living in the world I lived in when I was 21. We're living in a different world. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. There were many times I went out and I had too much to drink. There were many times I went out tipsy. There were many times, not really in bars, mostly parties, like a wedding or a birthday party or a family gathering. My father's driving home. Okay, glug, 6 beers, right down. Okay, I'm gonna spend the night at this hotel. Glug, straight down. Okay, I did that a couple times in my life. But you gotta be aware. Also, the gun situation, Florida state law forbids anyone, with the exception of a police officer, from carrying a gun in a place that serves open containers of alcohol. But also, you got 500 guys crammed together. How are you gonna get the bullet to hit the suspect? If I'm here and the suspect is over there, can I shoot him? No. You gotta be right next to the guy. So that's another aspect you have to think about. But yeah, you have to be vigilant, okay? And make sure 911 is called. I made videos on this too. Never assume. I don't give a fuck if there are 5,000 witnesses there. Never assume they called 911. Okay? Remember last week when I walked into the hospital and said I need help and they walked away from me? When a man was dying? You always call 911. And you always say what the truth is. There is a mass shooter at this location. I need SWAT. I need fire. I need EMS immediately. Very clear. What club are you at? What street are you on? What's the scene look like? Where is the suspect? What is, okay? Very clear. Okay? Do not assume someone else called. Never assume that ever. 911 would rather get 5,000 phone calls exactly the same than not get any phone calls at all and find out too late. I think we're done here. Okay, just please be careful. And please share this video. Please share this video. I want you to share it on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Insta. I want this video shared everywhere. Thank you.